welcome the one, the only, Janeane Garofalo.
So wonderful to see you. That's really nice, but you know, it just seemed, hopefully it'll be that good. Believe me, I would like it to be that good, which actually is a good segue for what I did want to tell you. I'm thrilled to be in Seattle, and I'm sure you're thrilled. You live here. Yes, Seattle's wonderful. And I was just checking the Seattle Weekly, and I just wanted to see, you know, what it said about the show. And then, of course, it said something that just kind of hit me. It said, Janeane Garofalo, very hard to love. And then in parentheses, if you do. You know, just in case, because we know it's a real niche market, but I feel like, maybe it is, but believe me, I would prefer to be well-liked. I can assure you I would prefer. I'm not one of those people who just shoots their mouth off. I cringe myself to sleep every night, just going over and over what I... This is going on since 1964. Believe me, I've been just going over and over it. But I just feel, you know, I was at the Edinburgh Comedy Festival where my favorite review about the show, it said, Janeane Garofalo, compact elder lesbian. I would like to deconstruct that for you, if I might. I just want to take a little sharper look at that one for a second. Compact, no big swig. I don't really give a shit one way or the other. Elder, okay, that's all right. Lesbian. Now, people say that a lot. People always mistake me for gay and Jewish, and I always say, you're giving me too much credit. I mean, if that was true, that'd be great. I happen to be an atheist who's asexual, but if you know, be that as it may, and put a pin in that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But and then it also said, a woman who looks like the kind of person you'd cross the street to avoid. Why? Why? I don't know exactly why, but, you know, be that as it may. And I wrote this down. I've only been doing stand-up 25 years. I can't be expected to, but I bought this. I bought a little music stand. Gonna do it this way, and an art pad to write things on. So we'll see how much I forget now. Why take the Adderall? That's what I say. Why even take it? I mean, I don't have ADD. I just enjoy, you know, Red Bull and an Adderall puts a little spring in my step, song in my heart, and I enjoy it. But please don't tell my doctor that. As far as he's concerned, I need the stuff. So, you know, that's how it works. I don't appreciate him giving me the business. He acts like I don't have ADD. I don't. But see what I'm saying? He just write the prescription. See, what are we, animals? That's how it works. So, another thing that happened, it happened at a coffee place here. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Starbucks. But it's a great cup of coffee. And the barista, very nice person, said, I don't mean to offend you, but you look like Janeane Garofalo. None taken. None taken. And then, of course, on the heels of that was, whatever happened to her? You know, I wish I knew. I kind of liked her, too. The 90s were good. 90s were so good. And when I'm feeling a little low after something like that happens, I do jack up my age because it's a guaranteed compliment. I will actually say I'm older than I am, because if I were to say to you, yeah, I have a birthday coming up, I'm gonna be 52. Oh my God, you look so good. For 52, you look fantastic. And what's your secret? And then I get the double whammy of a compliment, and I tell them about the smoking and the Cheez-Its, and then they doubt every healthy choice they've made. They have to rethink it. And so it's a really good thing. But you may wonder, how do you get that cement gray visage, Janeane? What is your regime? Here's what it is. What you do is you wake up and you taking out a roll. Have a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull mixed with a sugar-free Diet Sunkist. Have the first of many filterless cigarettes, all natural. All natural, by the way, in PS. And only 30% of cancer deaths are lung, which means 70% are not. So take that. And so you have your Red Bull and your Diet Sunkist, and then you just stave off the inevitable. You just starve yourself all day. You have tea, you have coffee, you have more soda, more soda, more soda. And then at the end of the day, when you're by yourself, you eat as much as you can, as fast as you can, until you have to lay on the floor, torpid and gassy, and unhook your bra because your back just got fatter. Back. Until you feel like Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife, because it's all upper body. It's all upper body meat. It's just a lot of meat up top, because I'm an apple. Oh, would that I were a pear. Being a pear is much more forgiving. You throw on a skirt, no one's the wiser. When you're an apple, it's a little bit more rolling up your sleeves and getting the work done. Okay, so, being in a socially conscious city like you are, which I applaud, and it's fantastic, but there is, yes, yes, you guys are great. We've established that. But there's a lot of the clipboard people, which, good for you, earnest young people, wide-eyed, I like it, but listen, do you have a minute for the environment? Don't say it like that. Don't put me in that position. Do I have a minute for the environment? Of course I do. I don't have time for you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have time. Don't conflate. Don't confuse the issue. I for sure, I care about the environment. I don't have the time. I'm 15 minutes late for everything as it is. I can't do it. Okay. Oh, here's the good news. Those are my Spanx. Right where they ought to be. All the way up, Spanx with an X. It's a foundation garment. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but because as you know, I'm 52, and so my undercarriage is just dropping with an alacrity. And the Spanx are basically just saying, where's the fire? That's what the Spanx are doing. Where's the fire? Just kind of keeps all your troops in one foxhole, so to speak. Just everything. Because when you take the Spanx off, it's like a bunch of water balloons or a melting candle. It's just a loose meat sandwich, and I don't want it. I can't have it. Now, if you're committed to Spanx, which I am, it is a lifestyle choice. It is a commitment. It's a little bit arduous to get them on and off. They're a little bit costly, worth it, but it's a lot of work. And I got a bad back. I have an Achilles torso because I refuse to strengthen my core. Punk rock, take that. Not doing it. Not going to strengthen my core. I will not do it. So as you know, or you don't know, I wear Spanx every day of the year. I don't care if it's the dog days of summer or it's the deep of winter. And I'd always wish there was a more breathable Spank. Well, guess what? There is now. There really is. They're called summer Spanx. And I don't want to be crass with you. You're better than that. You bring your own bag to Whole Foods. I get it. I'm on your side. You deserve the best. And I don't want to be indelicate or crass, but the fact remains, and you should know this about Spanx, that maybe a vacuum might be created. There's a vacuum. Do you know what I mean? It's a close quarters, and as you know, nothing good happens in a vacuum. Ask any coal miner or aerospace engineer. Nothing good happens in a vacuum. And it's true in your Spanx. It just, what I've decided to do is I'm just celibate. Honest to God, I just have had it. I'm celibate. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about anybody seeing the Spanx, except for you guys. I don't have to, if I'm getting intimacy, I'm done. I'm done. I've had enough. And I don't have a fear of intimacy. I have sort of ladies, I don't have a fear of they think I'm gay and Jewish. Thank you. I don't have a fear of intimacy. I have sort of a genuine lack of interest. Which is not good news for my boyfriend of 10 years, but you know, we'll have to talk about it. But yeah, I'm celibate, and I feel like Siddhartha under a fig tree contemplating nirvana. I feel free. If you honestly take off the table being attracted to others and worrying about them being attracted to you, oh, the things you can get done in a day. It is really, if you can say I don't give a shit and mean it, the key. It is really, because then you don't, it just, shave my legs? Nope. I don't have to keep anything tidy. And I actually had a problem with that anyway. Now listen to me, I really do, I believe that personal hygiene is indeed an assertion against madness. I agree, it's a slippery slope. You let that go and then you're hoarding and there's feral cats and all that. Put a pin in hoarding, we're gonna talk about that, those hoarders, knuckle supper, they're gonna get it. But here's what bothers me about the bald vagina, the hairless. If you're an adult, you should find a pre-adolescent looking bald vagina utterly resistible. Utterly resistible. You should find something so nothing about it. You should have no truck with a bald area. If you find an adult with a pre-adolescent looking vagina, you are now a person of interest in my book, and I mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a bad way. And also for some of the fellas that are bold as brass, you guys, listen, you expect the ladies to go through the indignity of that ritual, spend the money, and you don't even want to clip your goddamn toenails. You won't even clip your toenails, gentlemen. I ask you. That's an asymmetrical attack if I've ever heard of one. And I've seen a lot of you in your open-toed shoes on a warm day. If you can feel air on your toes, gentlemen, we can see them. What will it take to get you to clip your toenails? Tax incentives? I don't know. I hate to generalize. And also, gentlemen, your heels are so dry. Your heels are so dry! What does it take? And it's so simple, the remedy. Listen, the lotion that's by your bed. I'm not judging. I'm not accusing. Honest to God, I'm ambivalent at best, about the lotion by your bed. The lotion by your bed. Of an evening when you are going to bend to the task, just get an extra dollop, hit the heel on the way up. You're going that way, you're just going that way. Get her again on the way down, and then you just put a sock over that. Not that sock, get up and get another sock. What does it take? What does it take? And you wake up in the morning, you have a supple heel, you're welcome. Okay, listen, I was told not 2 weeks ago with great solemnity by my manager that I have no web presence. Did you hear what I said? No web presence. What is the measure of man without a web presence? Who am I? Who are we? If we are not creating content, creating content, creating content. Listen, if I had something to say on, I think I would do it in that format. And listen, the young people just creating, living out loud, as it were. It's as if they're dancing with Ellen all the time online. They're just having a ball, living out loud, in perpetuity. But and I understand wanting to do that. Believe me, I understand narcissism, clearly. Thank you. In this economy, you've come to feed my narcissism, and I appreciate this symbiotic relationship that we have. But at least I have the decency to hate myself. Do you see what I'm saying? And these young people, not at all, clearly. They don't seem to second guess a goddamn thing they're saying. Cakefarts.com exists. Cakefarts.com. That's real. I was shown that on Thanksgiving. Cakefarts.com. What it is a young woman, a very attractive woman, who has just a top on, no pantaloons. She just walks past camera and says, you know what I like? Cake farts. And then it's just as it says on the tin. She proceeds to be flatulent on top of a cake. Do you see what I'm saying, young people? You don't have to create content. It's okay not to have something to say. Or keep a journal, for Christ's sake. That's be okay. But I just don't, I'm a bit of a Luddite, a bit of a neo-Luddite. I have a cell phone, although I don't like to use it because of the hand cancer. And I tend to do it old-timey, and anyway, I do it with my mouth, and then my ear, and then my mouth, and I just, Sarah, get me an outside line. Murray Hill 7, Klondike 5. But I don't, Twitter or send out queefs, you know? Is that what it is? And there is one, I think it's called a Twitter queef, that you can get. but they're just people who's just queefing with the little witticisms and stuff. And I don't Twitter. I have no followers awaiting further instructions. I just have no followers. Clearly, the barista had good reason to say, whatever happened to her? I have no web presence. That's what happened to her. She wasn't keeping up with the times. And also because I don't have the wherewithal to program names to numbers in my phone. I don't know who I'm talking to or texting 90% of the time. Just a total crapshoot. Who am I meeting for dinner? Let's see. I don't know. I've agreed to, but I don't know at all. So I just do a standard issue kind of fun time text to anyone. Just keep it light, but I don't quite know. And as an homage to my Ludditism, I'll just text, Dear Fanny, it was so wonderful to hear from you. I'm so glad you find Lady Catherine friendly and obliging. And the sea air is to your taste. As for the favor you ask, 'tis no favor at all. I should be glad to join you at your earliest convenience. Yours in Christ, Janeane Q. Dingleberry, Netherfield Park. And that just takes care of it. Have I been intimate with this person? I don't know this person. Have I worked with? I don't know what it is, and then I meet him for coffee, maybe. I don't know who it is. All right. So then, oddly, even though I'm a bit of a Luddite, as I said, for a very brief amount of time, played a computer genius on 24. I played on behalf of the show, thank you. I basically was like a dark-haired Chloe O'Brien. And I never knew what I was saying. I don't use a computer. I did, but then I stopped. I know a lot of young people couldn't possibly believe that's true. It is absolutely true. I do not use a computer. And so I don't know what I was saying on the show. And so most of the time I was reading off Post-it notes on my character's computer screen. And I couldn't memorize stuff because I couldn't relate to it. But I want to read to you just an example of what I had to say. And I think you will understand why I had to resort to Post-it notes. This is me talking to Chloe O'Brien, FBI agent Janice Gold, computer genius. And when you think FBI, clearly, Garofalo's your go-to lady. Okay. Here's me to Chloe. Are you busy? Because I was just cross-referencing Dubaku's offshore accounts when I came across an orphaned header fragment. Take a look. See, right there, a remnant of a file header. And it's not just a phantom data string because I ran a systems analysis and the coding is not random. It traces back to one of the accounts. It looks like someone was deleted off the list. You could try running a recovery program, but you've got your hands full refitting the motherboard. So I'll upload the program to my station and do it from there. Thanks. But I did get to say on one episode after a run like that, I got to say, someone better wake the president. That old chestnut. I got to say, someone better wake the president, which I wish they would have let me say, just capping everything I said. Someone better wake the president and get me Lady Gaga on the phone ASAP. Because she can do anything. Lady Gaga. Or I wanted to say, I'm getting too old for this shit. Just 1 year away from my pension, been on the phone with the mayor's office all morning, blah, 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 blah. Getting too old for this shit. And literally, I am. My mind is blown. But sometimes I feel, like with Lady Gaga, I don't have anything negative to say about her other than I don't know what's going on. It makes me feel very old, like very elder lesbian. I don't know what's happening. So there is in my neighborhood a plainclothes mailman, which is odd to me. Is that allowed? He's new, too. That's what's even weirder. He's got the mail bag, and he's delivering the mail, yet I guess every day's casual Friday. He's always wearing easy fit denims, and he looks like a cast member of Wild Hogs. Just a lot of denim, skosh more room in the seat, delivering the mail, but I just feel like he's not supposed to you're not supposed, and no one else seems to say anything. Like, why is he not a plainclothes mailman? Something's afoot. The game is afoot. I just don't like that. And then with Interpol, harassing me on your DVD, Interpol, they're a global law enforcement agency. You know, when you're watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and at the end they threaten you. Or Damages, greatest show in the world. I'll watch Damages sometimes. If you haven't seen it, I have sat in my living room alone watching Damages on DVD and said out loud at least 15 times, I didn't see that coming. That's how good that show is. I didn't see that coming. So, on the end of your DVD, Interpol threatens you. I read recently that Interpol just arrested the masterminds behind the Rwandan genocide. And I would say, Interpol, if you're listening, just stick to one thing or the other. I really feel like you could have gotten those genocide guys if you weren't so worried about the DVDs. You might have actually gotten them a little sooner. And I think it's more important that you stick with those guys. Homeland Security, as you know, the homeland. Seek homeland. Whenever I hear homeland, I get so embarrassed for us. When people say evildoer or homeland, still to this day, I get embarrassed for us all. It's homeland. It's so infantile. I didn't mean to waste your time with that. It just reminded me to say that. But anyway, Homeland Security, as you know, working very hard for you, Immigration and Customs. This green card is all that stands betwixt you and utter chaos. If you've ever flown internationally, you know this is the holy grail of safety. It's in this card. It's just a few questions, and it's mandatory that you fill it out if you fly internationally. Question number 1. Do you have a communicable disease, physical or mental disorder? Are you a drug abuser or addict? Yes or no? And as you know, honesty is the cornerstone of addiction. So no problem there. No problem there. Moving on. Have you ever been arrested or convicted for an offense or crime involving moral turpitude? Maybe? I don't know. Is that bad? Is that good? Moral turpitude. I don't know. Yes? I don't know. Are you seeking entry into the country to engage in criminal or immoral activities? We'll see. Here's the jewel in Homeland's crown, though. Have you ever been or are you now involved in espionage or sabotage or in terrorist activities or genocide? Or between 1933 and 1945 were involved in any way in persecutions associated with Nazi Germany or its allies? I was in deep cover for over 35 years. I worked for the CIA, the FBI, Her Majesty's Secret Service. I lost my identity, my wife, my children, my bank account. Nay, I almost lost my mind. And what undid me after 35 years? Why did I check yes? Why would I do it, Janet Napolitano? Oh, you're good, Homeland Security. You're good. They got me. Why are we spending all this money for undercover ops when it's just this card? And then it says, important, if you answered yes to any of the above, please contact the American Embassy before you travel. They don't give it to you till you're about to land. I don't understand. Unless, of course, you're going to Australia, which, as you know, it's yesterday when you get there. The toilet goes the other way. You go, yeah, okay, yes. You went through the event horizon, maybe, yes. I could then contact the American Embassy, but why would I? Why would I do that to myself? Because I'm my own worst critic? Apparently not. Compact elder lesbian. How dare you, sir? And then I was going through immigration, and when I was in Australia, as a matter of fact, and the customs guy goes, Are you that actress with James Caan? You were harassing James Caan. Kathy Bates? Kathy Bates. I'm not criticizing her at all. Seems very nice. Good actor. But Misery, you want, how about something nice like fried green tomatoes? How about something nice? Kathy Bates. It's not the first time that's happened either. Oh, boy. Turning the page. If only I had an iPad, I could turn the page that way. I wouldn't have to expend the energy. People don't want to. It's almost like I've seen the way kids look at newspapers. It's like an episode of Antiques Roadshow. Oh, they still have these? And so what do? You just use your hand when you do that? Yes, like on the iPad. Do it that way. You know, when I was your age, 7-Eleven meant just that. 7 to 11. 11:05, you wanted a Slurpee or whatever shit in a cup, you couldn't have it. It was 11:05. There was no hole in the wall with cash spewing out of it. Young people. I forgot to mention this. I don't mind watching porn. I really don't. I really don't. I don't mind watching porn. But in the same way that I will watch the Food Network all day, but I don't want to cook anything. Do you see? Do you see where I'm coming from? That I don't want to get into it. I don't want to wash a dish, so to speak. Get my hands dirty. Slice a chicken bone, debone anything. Ew. What am I, a morning drive DJ? Why did I say that? That's gross. That's beneath us. Okay. Let's go to the dog park, lighten things up. I'm a big dog nut. I haven't blogged about it, but I'm a bit of a dog nut. And I go to the dog park quite a bit. And as some dog people are, some are a little daffy. But, you know, always very, very nice, very harmless. But some animal people can be a little daffy. And there's a lovely older woman. And she's very kind. And she's in the dog park all the time. And she always has a big giant button that says, ask me about my grandchildren. Frequently a hoodie that says, ask me about my grandchildren. And then most recently, a new vinyl bag. And she must have gotten a Cricut Crafter or whatever it is with a new font that says, ask me about my grandchildren on the bag with photos of said grandchildren. So finally, I sat down on the bench next to her and I said, so what's all this about your grandchildren? A lot of buzz, a lot of talk about your grandchildren. Blank stare, just absolutely as if it was the most abstract, out of left field. I told you what she was festooned with, did I not? Photos now, everything. Nothing. Be that as it may, she always has a fanny pack full of dog treats, and which is really nice, and so she's always paying it forward, if you will. But here's the thing, she won't just give my dogs the treats. They don't know how to shake her hand. That's the point. They don't know how to shake anyone's hand. Why should they? Why should the dogs know how to shake your hand? They are shelter dogs. They've been through enough. Leave them alone. They don't know how to shake your hand, and she keeps insisting that he can't shake your hand, even if he wanted to, which he doesn't. Just give him the treat you offered. That would be like if I said to you, would you like a stick of gum? You would. Hand. 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 I wouldn't do that to you. I'd just give you the gum. It's just manners. And then there was a flyer on the tree that said, have you seen me? You know, it's where the way they make the animals anthropomorphized, like asking, I'm lost. And it was this adorable beagle. But oddly, the photo the owners chose, the beagle had a necktie on and novelty 2007 New Year's glasses, which is adorable, but let's hope he's still wearing it if he's out there. How will we know? Is that the beagle? I don't know. He's not. It's open neck. It's just an open neck. I can't tell. Is that the beagle? I don't know. I would like to see a dog park for firefighters. I'm not made of wood, people. I do enjoy a firefighter. I do enjoy a firefighter. I would just like to see a fenced-in area wherein firefighters are just ambling about, maybe tossing a ball. Sitting on a picnic table, just in repose or at play, just firefighters, arms like canned hams, I'd go to that park quite a bit. I'd go, ask me about my firefighter, I'll say, I'd have that button and tote. I'd have that. Oh, I can never actually make eye contact with a firefighter because I'm afraid they're gonna see that filthy look on my face. But I have a question. Has anyone in this room turned on the television the last 14 years and Law and Order has not been on? Anyone? Is that on all the time, so ubiquitous, so that we are under the impression there's a rigorous and working justice system in this country? Is that to con us into believing that there is law? Boy, do we coddle in this country. We coddle war criminals, corporate criminals, racists, and hoarders. Again, I'll get to them. But boy, oh boy, apparently we don't want to offend racists. God forbid somebody, the teabaggers, the Tea Party movement. The first Tea Party was scheduled for Inauguration Day. So they were very unhappy with the job Obama was doing before he even indeed started doing it. I want my country back. I want my white guy back. Now, why I'm doing a Southern accent? No need. It's a state of mind. Redneck, a state of mind. There's a hell of a lot of raisins. It's a state of mind. the Tea Party people, tea baggers, nobody, especially in the mainstream media, they don't want to say it. And there's a lot of people who give me a hard time. They'll wait after stand-up shows for me and do the old ambush and the camera. Miss Garofalo, can I talk to you? But what makes you think that the patriots of the Tea Party movement are racist? And all I can say to them is, if you don't see that, I would ask you if you've ever seen a show called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. Have you ever seen a show called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant on TLC? Where somehow thousands of people make it 9 months to full term gestating a human, and their lover and their family and their coworkers have no idea that they are actually pregnant. They themselves are on the toilet, and they don't even know until they do the old cursory look around just in case. Thank God the kid's attached. Thank God the kid's attached. I swear to you, if there was no cord betwixt Fatty doesn't pay attention, that's the title, should be the title of the show. That, thank God there's a cord, because then it would be another series called What the Plumber Found. Got a hell of a clog, miss. Uh-oh. Oh, he wasn't attached. How would I know? How would I know? That's what I would say. If you don't recognize the tea baggers, and the majority of the Republican Party and conservative movement at this point is racist and have been moving that way since the 1960s, then I would say to you, go home and mark your calendar 9 months hence, because you are in danger of having a baby in the toilet. So, I would say, just mark it with a red X 9 months from tonight. Check toilet. So, I was thinking that I would like to actually do a CSI show. I enjoy those crime procedurals. And I would ask you this also. When is David Caruso going to get his Emmy? For Christ's sake, what does the man have to do? How much more versatile as an actor does David Caruso have to be? How many colors of his palette does he have to show you, David Caruso? Are we going to look at you condescendingly this way? Or are we going to turn and do it this way? You don't know what's happening next with David Caruso. And I must admit that I do find him creepy. And not because he's a ginger. Not because he's a ginger. My mom had red hair. I got no problem with red hair. Not a redheadist. I find David Caruso just creepy, just as something. And I don't think he should be allowed to talk to children. Hey, little fellow, where's your father? Ah! It's almost as if he's saying panties all the time. I know he's not. I know he's not. Panties. And it's underwear, by the way. The taller, the better. Underwear. But I would like to have a CSI franchise. I would like to do CSI Nutley, New Jersey. Listen, there's a lot going on in Nutley, New Jersey. There is a lot. It is not just about shady car dealerships. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And as you know, it's the hidden ice that will fuck up your boat. I want to get in there, roll up my sleeves at Nutley, New Jersey, but here's the difference between my CSI and the others. I will not allow camel toes at the crime scene. Will not allow it. Not on my watch. Not on my watch, Mark. I will not allow camel toes at the crime scene. At all. Once you pass the police tape, we remove our Manolo Blahniks. We loosen our trousers, ladies. When you're in the lab looking at tire treads, have at it. It's your day. I don't give a shit. Pull your pants all the way up. I don't care. Give yourself a wedgie you won't soon forget. I don't care. It's your lab. It's your time. But when we pass the police tape, have some respect for the departed. The fucking departed. Okay. Oh, and this bothers me too on any infomercial, and I do love to watch my infomercials. I really do. Results will vary. Well, then I was gonna get it, and now results will vary, which just means this is not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work for you. It's absolutely not gonna work for you. But we should have a national drinking game with these infomercials, and every time somebody says, "Thank you for giving me my life back," you do a shot. You'd be shit-faced. You'd be so drunk. "Thank you for giving me my life back." Were you dead? Did you die? Were you dead? Like Nikki Sixx, did you die? Oh my God, that ab roller is something. That ab roller gave you your life back? Oh my God, I'm getting one. Results will vary. Fuck. By the way, fuck you, Applebee's. I'm sorry to get so abrasive with you, but Applebee's, I got an axe to grind with Applebee's. How doth you, Applebee's? How dare you? They infantilize us all. They treat us like chumps. Applebee's. Does Applebee's really think we think people are sending in home movies spontaneously of how much fun they're having at Applebee's? All across the country. People are not, without knowing about the others doing it, they're just sending it. Look how much fun I have at my local neighborhood hang. Applebee's. And by the way, Olive Garden, you are not off the hook. How dare you, Olive Garden? The audacity. Oh, yeah, there's a culinary institute that Olive Garden has in... Sure there is. Yeah, Mario Batali's teaching a master class. That's where do you think they learn how to make that great pepper jack sauce for the Alfredo noodles? The Chipotle pepper jack Parmesan sauce from Palermo, from the old country. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm just going to tell you a few things about myself, and I hope you don't rush to judgment, and then maybe it's, well, we'll do it that way. But I'm going to tell you a couple of things, but unfortunately, this may be one of the things that some people don't like. I am an atheist, which I said earlier. No, I'm not bragging. Not bragging. I happen to be an atheist, although I am the first to bust out a Hail Mary on a turbulent plane. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I will say I always do. It's just a conditioned response. Just like anytime anyone holds up a camera, I say cheese. I don't want to, but I always do. I always say cheese. Or if I walk past a couple on the street who's making out, I go, duh. I can't help it. I cannot help it. It's just a conditioned response. I used to be very religious, raised in a very religious and conservative household. My father is still, they're all still very religious, and my dad's very concerned now that I'm an atheist, and he will say things like, what's gonna happen to you? What's gonna happen to you after you die? And all I can say is, Dad, do you remember that era before you were born? Do you remember that golden time before you exited the womb? Do you remember that? Where you were and how enjoyable it was? I think it's gonna be very similar, if not exactly the same. I think it's gonna be exactly the same, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of people get very upset. I'm taking something away from them. I don't believe that I am. It's not a bad thing because really, life's too long to worry about the afterlife. And you know what? Science is so comforting, and it really is. It's fascinating, and we are literally made of stardust. Literally, we are literally cosmic people. Is that not enough? I mean, isn't that lovely? I find that lovely, and. What is the meaning of life? I don't know. Make meaning. I don't know. It's whatever it is. Why was I here? Why was I born? I don't know. It's just what happened. Just what happened. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be any more than that. And so anyway, I was very religious, though, as an early teen, really religious out of fear. Here's what happened. I went to, in 1978, I guess I was a tween at the time, what I thought was a harmless pool party. And it was in my neighborhood, one of many, where it was just ping pong, pizza, pool. That's what I thought it was gonna be, as usual. But I guess we were at that age where after pizza, all of a sudden there was a game called 7 Minutes in the Closet, which I have, still want no part of, let alone then. But I was kind of coerced into it. And there was, I don't know how to delicately say this. There was some kissing, and then there was a manual effrontery to my bathing suit taint area. Is that okay? I don't know how else to say that. And I was absolutely undone by this. Absolutely undone. I was a very young whatever I was anyway at the time. There was this kid tried to manhandle my parts. And I immediately got my bike, went home, and was like, why aren't we playing newspaper tag? What's happening? I have no idea what's happening. So I immediately joined CYO, Catholic Youth Organization. Because on weekends, we had prayer lock-ins. You would go to the church with your sleeping bag, and they would lock you in, and you would watch movies and have chips, and basically you just said no to life. Just like every other teenager that could not handle it, say no to life. That's just about right for me. I actually was having my mom make me at the time, still at that age, Laura Ingalls Wilder Little House on the Prairie dresses with simplicity patterns, honest to God, like calico frocks, which I would wear to school on occasion. So do you see what I'm saying? Where a finger bang has no part in this. I know some of you young people may not know what that is, but in 1978 New Jersey, we had a thing called finger banging. I don't know if you have it or if you care to know about it, but it's not right for me at that age. And I became very, very religious. And I actually have never had much of a libido, ever, ever, ever. Is it nature or nurture? I have tried to think about that. I have no idea. I don't know if I was hardwired that way or my environment. Here's another thing that didn't help. My Irish grandmother lived with us too. By the way, I know it's very nice that you don't put your grandparents in a home, but just do it, trust me. Do it. It really is. Just find the money. Find the money. Put it in jars, whatever you have to do. She was born in 1898. I'm old enough, my parents are old enough, that's real. She was born in 1898 in Northern Ireland. She was the oldest of 13 children. They emigrated over here, and in short order, both her parents died of, I don't know, bloody flux, vapors, I don't know, dropsy, whatever. That's how old-timey she was. Her brother died from getting hit on the head by a rock. That's how old-timey. Thank God none of her sisters ran in the rain and twisted their ankle, because as you know, it's infectious fever time, and you better prepare yourself, because that's what happened. But she lived with us, and she was born, put it this way, you can imagine she was a real barrel of laughs, a real open-minded lady who was so deathly afraid of sex and all things female that she may have had something to do with this. Oh, you know what she used to do all the time? When she had a toothache, which was invariably, she would wrap a fucking muslin rag around like Dickens style. I'm not even lying. And I would have friends over in high school. Why does your grandma have a rag? It's because she was born in 1998. And she's terrified of sex. So she has like a Dickens child. Okay, so she lost her mind completely watching the Flip Wilson show one night. Google it. Google it, young people, Flip Wilson. It was a variety show hosted by a black fella, that's what she would say. And she lost her mind completely when Tina Turner came on one night and did a very lascivious dance, and that was it. That was it. So I have no idea. That's not a joke, and there's no point to that. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I don't know. Is that it? I don't know if that's why I am the way I am with sex, but we don't have to worry about it because I don't have sex anymore with my boyfriend, who we've been living together for 10 years. It was going that way anyway. I mean, 10 years. 10 years. Put it this way, like, and we're best friends. We really are. We really are best friends. But at the beginning of our relationship, well, we met when I was still drinking, so he was under the impression I was fun and spontaneous and up for anything. And the old seduced and abandoned, I suppose, but I'm sober now. It's not the same. You know, listen to what I used to do when I was a heavy drinker. Listen to this. This is crazy. I used to have sex during the day. I know! It's absurd on the face of it. It's absurd. I actually used to take showers with my boyfriend. Is that nuts? That's alcohol for you. That's what happens. That's wet brain. You lose it. You will leave the lights on when you'll take your shirt off in front of people. It's crazy. People have to intervene. At the beginning of our relationship, I would say something like, oh, it's raining. I don't want to walk. If you walk the dogs, I'll give you a blowjob. And the dogs got walked. Dog got walked. 10 years in, I walk the dogs. Doesn't matter if it's sleeting or hailing. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just a change. Things change. And then here's another thing. This again will be slightly indelicate, I tell you, only to illustrate a larger point. Have you ever heard of the norovirus? It's a very, very virulent strain of the flu. Very bad flu, very contagious. And it was going around New York 2 years ago, and we both got it. And everything comes out. You just vomit all the time, but unfortunately, everything comes out. Like, everything comes out. The wretched refuse, the huddled masses, the great lumpen proletariat all passes through Ellis Island. Put it this way, we threw away a lot of sweatpants. I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. This is leading somewhere. We threw away, but as a team, as a couple, we threw away a lot of sweatpants. We double bagged them. It's called manners. And so after one particularly turbulent evening, we had just bathed and put on our new American Apparel sweats, got into some crisp, clean sheets with our book and our saltines. And he goes, oh, I think I. And You know what happened. And then I started laughing so hard. Do you know what I mean? So we shat as a couple, but we shat as a team. My point in telling you that horrible story, what is my point? Here's my point. You don't really look at that person and go, oh, can't wait to make out with that guy. Can't wait to, that's hot. We co-shat the bed. We are really gonna have date, and this is gonna be hot. That's all I'm saying. It's, you know, so the good news, we're not married. That's the good news. So at least that's, you know, and I have no problem with marriage. I'm not a cynic about marriage at all. And I have heard about people who've been married for years, who are passionate about one another, who crack each other up, who are still very much in love. I think it's a lot like a unicorn. It would be delightful to behold one. Have not yet, but I've heard about it. It's nice. Oh, my lordy be. Some people want to create meaning in their life by having children, which is nice. I'm sure it's very, very nice. Does it create more meaning in your life to have kids? It makes you busier. Just so you don't have time to think about it. But, you know, and I love babies. Believe me, I love it. I've never wanted to have kids. Oh, she's cold. She's cold. Just before we leave, just to prove I'm not cold, I want to show you something. Just to prove, in case any of you think me cold and harsh. Would I have made this for this show? If I was cold and heartless, would I have taken the time to cut these out and glue them to this board? And I have to play a little game, because I have a Poop Puppies calendar at home, and I play a little game with myself, and I say, gun held to your head. You can only take one. I can't do it! I have to take them all! So don't tell me. But be that as it may, would I be a dick if I didn't take the time to cut these out? I just have the individual ones that, it's just puppy sleeping. What? I know. I just fell asleep. And my feet smell like Fritos. So don't look at me like that. But a lot of people have babies, and yet they seem so eager to have the kids sleep all the time. Oh, God, I hope he takes a good long nap. Oh, let's tire him out, early bedtime. Why'd you have it? Ritalin. Why is he on Ritalin? Because he exhibits behaviors that we find annoying as adults. But, no, but I love babies. I love a fat baby. And I'll tell you what, a fat baby foot, it's going right in my mouth. It's going right in my mouth. Dollars to donuts, a fat baby foot is going right in my mouth. I love tub time with a toddler. I love a tub time. I like a robe with animal ears. But eventually that 5-year-old will be 14, addicted to meth, and they will kill you in your sleep. As sure as they will look at you, that teenager will kill you in your sleep. I'm not leaning toward hyperbole to say that. Listen, I can't have it. I can't go out to dinner and my daughter's online with a predator, and then I come home and Mariska Hargitay is in my living room. I can't have Jane Mansfield's daughter talking to my daughter. I can't have it. I don't want to be married. I don't want to have children. But won't you be? What about when you're on your deathbed? Well, as I said, I was fiscally prudent. I will have an excellent Tempur-Pedic mattress. I will have a tough but fair Jamaican nurse who will hand me my ashtray. She will open the window for me. We're going to be best friends. I'll leave her everything. It's going to be sweet. What I won't have is relatives dragged to see Grandma in her stinky room on a Saturday, looking at me like, ugh. That's what I won't have. And then another friend of mine who just had a baby. Again, I love the babies. I will walk blocks out of my way to listen to toddlers chatter. I love it. I will love it. I love listening to little kids chatter about their day. Conversely, I will cross the street to avoid a teenager discussing anything. And pull up your goddamn pants. That's all. Just pull up your pants and you pull down your shirt, lady. That's all. But I just, so my friend, he had a baby and he said, I get it now. I get it now, since having the baby. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and now I realize it's not all about me. You didn't know that? You didn't know that. You're 42. You didn't know it wasn't all about you. Oh, so now it's all about this thing made out of you, but it's, and you probably, but it's all about this thing made of me and me, but I'm very risk averse, you know what I mean? And I don't believe it's better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all. I would rather not have loved at all. It's too big a risk. Because it's not the good times that keep you up at night, is it? Time heals everything. I'm older now. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to heal from my teenage stuff. My kids doing things that I can't. I can't have a driver's license and alcohol. I can't, them have the alcohol. Me, that'd be great. That's my dream. That's my dream. Some people want to run with the bulls in Pamplona. Some people want to see the pyramids of Giza. You know what my dream is? To be a highly functioning alcoholic. Highly functioning. Firing on all 4 cylinders, great writer, all this kind of stuff, but is mildly to severely drunk most of the time. Because if that were the case, I would get married. I would. I'd have kids too. I think I could do anything. If I was a functioning alcoholic, I honestly think I could get a lot done in the day, and I would do it. No big swig. Mariska Hargitay, water off a duck's back. That's fine. I'm drunk. What's my daughter doing? That's fine. I'm drunk. I just, here's my advice. I'm not allowed to drink anymore, but here's my advice for when you have your intervention, and you will. And you will. Because apparently interventions are like jury duty now. You're going to have an intervention. So here's what you do when they get there. Just start crying. Just start crying! That's what they want. That's what they want. They just and when they do the thing, when you did this, it made me feel yes, yes, yes. Just say yes. And just think of clever ways that you'll be drunk around them in the future that they won't know. Because that'll show them. But actually the second one took. And it is a joy not waking up in the morning in bed with a bunch of balloons at a traffic cone. It is a joy. So, anyway, the hoarders. Here's why the hoarders bug the shit out of me. Their intervention, they have it so easy. First of all, they know about the intervention before it's going to happen. They know an intervention is going to happen, the hoarders. And then, this is what the interveners say. We won't take anything out of your apartment without your permission. What? I had to watch them dump the vodka. I had to watch them dump the vodka. Do you see what I'm saying? And take the flask I thought was hidden behind the phone. Nobody's... Do you see? And just some options would have been nice. Just what if they had, for the alcohol intervention, what if they had just come up and said, okay, here's the thing. You can either go away to rehab or stay here in town and go to AA every day and have a sponsor and a mentor, or you can move to Glasgow, Scotland, where you will be a lightweight at best. At best! Have you seen the Scottish people? Have you seen the Scottish people, the way they live? Such vim, full of piss and vinegar, full of piss. They are all Glasgow. Do you enjoy getting punched in the face? Because if you do, you gots to get to Glasgow. It would be fiscally imprudent not to be an alcoholic in Glasgow. You can, at Tesco's, you can get a giant bottle of vodka for 72 pence. It pays for itself in like an hour and 15 minutes. It couldn't be clearer. Oh, that's great. I would like that. And then there was a time when I really feel like we're over-codifying addiction. First of all, there's 23 million alcoholics that we know of that filled out the census. There's 23 million alcoholics, which means there's way more, which means it's very normal, right? That's very normal. And by the way, in PS, 1 bottle of wine is not a lot. That is so easy. That is like 1 episode of Damages on DVD. That's the one. And then for a while, years ago, I had I still have weird eating stuff, but I've just now made it weirder. But I used to overeat like anyone would. And I went to OA briefly, and they made me keep a journal. So Janeane, why did you eat the whole pizza? Because it's delicious, Jesus. What the fuck? This is not neuroscience. I'm not medicating anything. I'm not stuffing feelings. I was properly parented. Nobody touched me except that kid in the closet, which was a whole other issue. I wasn't related to him. The pizza's delicious. Have you seen it? It's delicious. And it's cheese. And so you ate most of the cake? Yes. Why? Oh my God. What? Why? Why would I eat most of the cake? It's so good. And it's not that hard to do. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of these myths that we live by in this country about the all men are created equal, which we technically are, but we don't adhere to it. That's what I mean by myth. Ben and Jerry's has 4 servings. That kind of foundation myth drives me nuts. It does not have 4 servings, so that's so clearly it's like a bowl. It's like, and I'm so tired of being bullied by this. It's just. Why keep a journal? It's delicious. It's just delicious, and it's no big swig at all. You know what I wish, though, actually? I think, oh, I forgot. You know what I wish, actually, before I say that? Jessica Biel. You don't know her, I don't know her. I don't know her. She's an actress, and I was reading Allure magazine. I know. I know. It's my fault. I shouldn't have been reading Allure magazine. It's totally my fault. But sometimes I need a sorbet after, accidentally seeing Glenn Beck say something. I need to rush to Allure magazine. That's when you know that. And she was saying in an article about her career that her beauty has hindered her career. And I would just say, keep it to yourself, Jess. Just keep that to yourself. Keep that one under your hat. I realize you are lovely. You're very lovely. You're like that Megan Fox, who I believe came from a crop circle at the base of Mount Shasta. Very lovely. But I don't think in the history of entertainment anyone's beauty has ever hindered anything, especially if you're a lady. Never, never, never. And I would say, in fact, her beauty is the springboard for said career. And that's not a criticism. That's just a straight-up fact. But here's another thing with that. When people get mad if you talk about politics, you hear this all the time. There are angels among us. The universe speaks to me. God has a plan. Ghosts are everywhere. And then you say, they steal elections in this country. Oh, come on. Come on, tinfoil hat time. Tinfoil hat time. Oh, yeah, there's angels speaking to me, and there's a ghost, and yeah. You know how I know there's no ghost? Just FYI, you know how I know there's no ghost? For sure. Watch Ghost Adventure. Watch Ghost Adventure. Can you believe how much evidence they're not getting on film? Can you believe how much evidence that douche is not Zach? Okay, whoa. Are you here? Are you here? Come haunt me. Bullying the ghosts like that. No wonder they're crossing over it with great alacrity. That's how I know there's no ghost. Oh, did you see that, man? Oh, let me make sure the camera doesn't quite get it. Listen to this, Electron EVP. Oh, you hear what he said? Play it again and again and again. No! Not there. There's no ghost. And why, if there is ghosts, why are they always from the Victorian era? I mean, clearly people have been dying from the Big Bang onward, and many of them presumably have an axe to grind. Always the Victorian era. Maybe occasionally Wild West Catalani or Hickory Jake. But never like a 1980s. Just a ghost from the 1980s. Crispy bangs, shoulder pads. Here's what I wish for me, for all of us. If I could be Natalie Portman. Oh, I'd have a tiger by the tail. I don't know her. I love Natalie Portman. Oh, the things I'd do. I'd be so different if I was Natalie Portman. I'd have the world on a string if I was Natalie Portman. And like I said, I don't know her, but she held an elevator for me once. And I was taking a really long time. I didn't know she was in there. And I was talking to my friend Laura, and all of a sudden I hear this little voice down the hall. Are you coming? And I look down and I see this perfect porcelain hand. Lovely. I mean, beautiful. Were it a Chinese-bound foot, it would be revered as the lotus flower. It's just tiny, perfect hand holding the elevator. And I walk into the elevator, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Natalie Portman. It's Natalie Portman. And she's so wee. She's so wee. She's so small. And then I started looking at her little capri pants. She's wearing these little capri pants that were tight. What? How does she have tight pants? American Girl doll store? Tokyo? Where's she shopping? And I don't know how her pants are tight, but they were. And then I started fantasizing about doing her tiny laundry. Her little tiny tops and her little tiny pantaloons, and fold them up or laying them on the bed of a morning. And then I started looking at her fly, her zipper on her pants, and the zip was the size of my thumbnail. No joke. It was like the size of my thumbnail. And I was just thinking about why? Why is it, how's the zipper so small? I know what, I thought about it. Because Natalie Portman has no unsavory lower GI functions. There is no vulgar business going on down there. There's no anything immoderate or indelicate. There's just nothing that would give one pause. It's just wonderful. And if you were to be so lucky to do her laundry, if you were blessed in that way, to do Natalie's laundry and you pulled off her little pantaloons, you know what you'd see? Just like a beautiful buffed marble frontispiece. Just like a perfect, lovely, smooth, like an art installation. You know what I mean? Like it was just lovely. And it would just have like an homage to what others have there. Just like a dent or like a ding in a car door. Just like as if a kitten's paw just swiffered upwards. Just a soupçon of a crease, just a wink and a nod. And if you got even closer, you'd go, oh, is that creme brulee? Is the barefoot Contessa making delicious buttery biscuits? What is that? I'm swooning, Nat. Oh my God. Because I'll tell you something, Natalie Portman has never taken a shit in her life. How dare you? Come on. Natalie Portman has never, ever taken a shit. Why should she? Don't look at me like that. I've had it with that. You texting me all the time about, yeah, you, Beardy. Always with the texts. Natalie Portman shits. Come on, man. Natalie Portman, graduate of Harvard University, founded in 1636, has never walked into the beshitted and besmirched air of a public restroom. Come on. All right, I'll bite. I'll play your game, sir. You paid the money. Listen, okay, let's say Natalie Portman has ever shat. Ever had any leavings, if you will. Any issue. If she had, then it would be collected in a velveteen box and hustled off to the Magnolia Bakery in Manhattan, where it would festoon the cakes and treats. And you'd pay top dollar. You'd be happy to have it. You'd stand online around the block and you'd say, hey, this is the bakery that the girls from Sex and the City went to. Hey, huh? Sex and the City, oh, I hate that show, and yet I'm like, oh good, there's another one back to back. I loathe it, yet it comforts me. But okay, Natalie Portman shitting. We have hopefully gotten past that, because I feel like you're still on the fence. I feel like you're the type of guy who would tell me Charlize Theron shits. Oh, actually she did, you're right. She did that one time. Charlize Theron did shit that one time when she was making the movie Monster. You're right. You're right. I read an article in Premiere magazine. She wanted to get into character. She was playing serial killer Aileen Wuornos, and Charlize wanted to know what it would be like to defecate. So she called the boys from George Lucas's company, Industrial Light and Magic, and they came over to her home and created the conditions wherein one would shit. And it was like a series of levers and pulleys and some string and a tube. And then out came like a soy cake, which was immediately repurposed and composted because she likes to leave a light carbon footprint. And right now, you can actually go to the Smithsonian and see that apparatus betwixt Archie Bunker's chair and Fonzie's jacket. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for coming to the show. You have been great. Thank you so much. Woo! I appreciate it.